Can conservative investors keep up during an inflationary environment? Watch this video as we further discuss that question. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by the Financial Beat. For those of you that don't know, I'm Logan Sadler, the host of the channel. I am a retirement planner. Our specialty is for those of you that are approaching retirement or getting close to retirement and looking to get some strategies put together for your financial plan. That is where our firm specializes. But here on the channel, we're just here to talk about some fun education and some tips and tricks for some of your retirement planning questions. One thing I got the other day while sitting down with a client, one of their first questions out of their mouth in our discovery meeting. It was a new person who hadn't come on board with our firm at that time yet. And one of their questions was, listen, I am very conservative, right? I'm a very conservative person as far as my investments go. And I am one of those people that inflation scares the bejesus out of me, or however you want to say it, right? It scared him big time. He used a different word, but we won't say it on the show. For example, can I keep up, right? Inflation's getting 6, 7, 8%. We've seen some of these extremely high numbers coming over the last few years. Is there ways that I can keep up with inflation? Now, that is a very, very good question because we've all been told, and if we haven't, you're going to be told right now, that the rules of thumb and a lot of the stories out there as far as investing goes, to get good returns or maybe even great returns, you probably have to take a lot more risk, right? So if you want those higher stock-like or equity-like returns, you probably got to be in the market or being willing to take risk like the market to get those types of returns. Now, that can be a very realistic or simple answer of how to do that. That answer is true, or those statements are true to some extent. But also, one of the things I've seen is people simply giving up, right? So you don't necessarily have to take more risk. Again, more risk is a better way to potentially earn more. However, if you are more conservative, I would not recommend taking more risk if it doesn't fit in with your overall situation and your comfort level. But one of the things I see people do is completely give up, right? They say, listen, I'm really, really conservative. I invest in cash or CDs or money markets or bonds, and they don't look any further to alternative investments, insurance products, anything else really outside of the basic realm of investing. And so when inflation is going at 3, 4, 5, or 6%, they know that they're going to make 1 or 2% or maybe even lose money in some of these other investment vehicles on the fixed income side. So the answer is you might not necessarily be able to keep up with inflation, but you might be able to combat inflation, right? You might be able to give it a really, really good fight to stay close, right? During these decades where we look at inflation over a decade period of time, over a longer period of time, most investors can keep up with inflation, even if you're on the more conservative realm. One of the biggest things that really demoralize a lot of people is when you see these very, very high years of inflation, right? You look back to 2022, 2021, and 2020, where we saw some record-breaking numbers there as far as how long it's been since we've seen inflation like that. That is where it gets demoralizing to a lot of people, where they're like, listen, inflation went up 8%, my account's made 2%, I didn't keep up, right? That year you might not have. However, if you're invested correctly, depending on your investments and things like that, you should be able to keep up with inflation over a period of time. Again, it all depends on how you're invested and what investments you're using, but there is a lot of investments out there, even being rather conservative, that can keep you close to that overall inflation number. So it's hard when it's coming year by year at you with all that data and all the news, but making sure, again, when you're looking at your retirement, you're looking at a very, very long period of time, maybe a 20 or 30 year period of time. So understanding how you're going to combat that, not only year by year, but multiple years, by decades, by a long time over your retirement journey, to making sure that you're utilizing the investments you need to help combat inflation, to keep you at those numbers you need, whether that's income or returns or whatever you're doing to try to combat inflation. So hopefully that answers that question for you. Appreciate the viewer question for stopping by, that client who actually came in. Those of you that have questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments here. Click subscribe, like us, follow along, and we'll be back here again with another video on some retirement planning conversations. Enjoy.